Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke, with my beautiful bearded husband here, Josh, operating his magical, delicate fingers over that control panel, making this magic happen for you, the viewer, the listener, the podcast consumer, the Shell Shock customer. We want to say thank you for tuning in this morning. Thank you for spending your morning here with us here in Richardson, Texas, right outside of Dallas. It is a very cold 25-degree day today. Woke up this morning. There was ice coming down. Things are freezing. It looks like we are possibly on the verge of another, quite honestly, another snowpocalypse. Yeah, a little ice apocalypse this time. So I know all flights in and out of Dallas Love Field and then DFW International Airport have been canceled for the next 2 days, I believe it is. There are accidents all over 75 north and south, so be advised when you go out there. There are bad things happening, so just keep that in mind. We may not be open tomorrow. I know today, roughly at 2 p.m., we're cutting our employees loose because they're saying by 3 p.m. today here in Dallas, it's supposed to get really bad. So our storefront will probably not be open tomorrow. We'll probably have a little bit of a snow day. So if you are a customer and you place an order, just be advised that's why your order will not be shipped. If you order now, it will. But anything after 3 p.m. today for the next 24 to 48 hours will not be shipped because, again, it's getting bad out there. I'm not going to have my employees come in here and risk getting in accidents due to the inclement weather. I would say I apologize to our customers, but I'm really not sorry. Their livelihood comes first, and that's just all that matters to me at that point. I think people will understand, John. I don't think it's a big issue. People, I think, generally will understand that. If they don't, fuck them. Go find your therapist.
Fortunately, the website's still working, you can
yeah.
still purchase products. They'll just go out Friday. Because Friday, it jumps up into the
it's supposed to
toasty
get
40s.
Yeah, Texas, the weather is. I had a buddy of mine who says Mother Nature is a woman because she is so fucking bipolar. And we just pissed off all the feminists out there. So, but anyway, we appreciate it. Hey, thanks for your reviews on the podcast, dude. I was just looking at the numbers. It's insane. We just continuously grow the views, the listenership, dude. We are so appreciative and so grateful for that.
So grateful.
And keep in mind, if you come over to Twitch, we are doing giveaways every day after the show, a tanker today. If you are a subscriber on Twitch, you are automatically entered to win a free tanker. We've already given out 3. We're giving another one today. And there you have it. So
eventually we'll keep track of the names.
Fuck, I do need to do that. Oh, well, I've actually kept track of the emails that I'm getting as far as the customers, so I do have the list there. And speaking of lists, my number has not moved on Truth Social. I am still 200-something thousand, on that list, and that number has not fluctuated up or down whatsoever. I feel like I'm trying to get into the Roxbury at this point.
Know.
Me and Josh, he sent me a text this morning of his account being created. He's 400-something thousand on that list. Loser.
I know. We're going to get in there. It's just going to be all platinum blondes with large chests.
Bottle service.
Yeah, bottle service.
That's what I'm talking. I was never into that scene, so I don't know anything really about it. I don't know. But I do hope Truth Social does turn it around. This is also building a lot of suspense. I know it's in beta mode right now. They're saying March 1st is the official release, when it's supposed to be good across the U.S., just in time for midterm. So we'll be on there. I've already locked down my name, John Burke, and then we have Shell Shock CBD on there. Oh, and by the way, make sure you check out the Shell Shock CBD Twitter. I'm taking a different approach to advertising on this, a more personalized thing that I've seen a lot of companies go this direction as far as instead of that professional company look with nothing being said that's kind of too offensive, I'm going a different route because I feel like Shell Shock has been successful due to the fact that we are a very personable company. Our views are very well known, although I don't mix the company's views and my own personal views.
Right.
But people kind of know who runs Shell Shock, who owns Shell Shock. It's we have our views. People know that for the most part. But that's the approach we're going to take. So you can look us up on Twitter at Shell Shock CBD, and we are going to be running some sales specifically to Twitter. Why? Well, it's to get your ass to go over there and fucking follow us. That's why. That's right. We might do some 20-25% discounts off some individual items here in the next week or so. But you got to be on Twitter.
Twitch?
You got Twitter.
Oh, Twitter.
Yeah, got to be on Twitter for those sales specifically to Shell Shock. So
I can't get on Twitter.
You got banned?
Yeah.
That's why you got to get a new phone. Your VPN banned. So that's I bought a new phone specifically just to get back on Twitter. Why? I don't fucking know, but I enjoy trolling the left, and it's Sergeant Savage on Twitter. But it's fun. It's being behind enemy lines and they can't touch you. So it's I'm gonna just poke all these liberals. Yeah, you dumb bitches. Yeah.
So you like those gas prices, bastards?
You bastards.
Oil.
If you are investing, which we're getting into for Shell Shock, we're diversifying our portfolio, would highly suggest you go into electric. Go into electric investments because right now, if you don't know, we're getting into this later in the show, Russia has kicked it off. There are reports now that have been confirmed from many MSM outlets out there that essentially Russia has launched cyber attacks across the Ukraine. Banks have been shut down, websites down. Russia's doing it. Like, they're doing it. It's happening. So it's like sex with Kobe Bryant. It's happening. I'm sorry. Can I not say that? Being he's dead. Sorry. My bad. My B. Anyway, how's that for Black History Month? They're going to fucking get on me for that one. You shouldn't make fun of a dead black guy in Black History Month. Like, my bad. I make fun of everybody during every month, so it's whatever. I am on one today.
Good for you.
I'm on one today. We're feeling it. We're feeling it.
Feeling good.
Oh, my God.
Real good.
All right. This day in history, let's get it started while Josh gets his phone ready so we make sure we have the right intro music because, damn it, we're making this show special for y'all. It's like the JV version of a podcast, but you guys love it. So, all right. This day in history. I like this. U.S. flag wait, is this the same one?
It's the same one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. U.S. flag raised in Iwo Jima. February 23rd of 1945, during the bloody battle for Iwo Jima, U.S. Marines from 3rd Platoon E Company, 2nd Battalion, 28th Regiment of the 5th Division. Jesus Christ. Bro. Like, damn. Not knocking it, but fuck me running. It's a good thing I have a military background because reading this, I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? Because even now, it's like, Jesus. Okay. U.S. Marines from the 3rd Platoon, Echo Company, 2nd Battalion, 28th Regiment of the 5th Division. Okay, no, that makes sense. When I read it slower, it's like, okay, I know exactly what it is. They went down all the way to platoon level, which is like 40-man platoons. Well, it is in the Army. I don't know how the Marines are. You know, Marines are different.
It's all pops and whistles to me, baby.
5th Division take the crest of Mount Suribachi, forgive me for mispronouncing that, the island's highest peak and most strategic position, and raise the U.S. flag. Marine photographer Louis Lowry was with them and recorded the event. Americans fighting for control of Suribachi's slopes cheered the raising of the flag, and several hours later, more Marines headed up the crest with a larger flagpole. Joe Rosenthal, a photographer with the Associated Press, met them along the way and recorded the raising of the second flag, along with a Marine still photographer and a motion picture camera. A Marine still photographer. Now, this is where a little bit of the drama comes in. I don't know if you've seen Flags of Our Fathers. I believe that's the one that Clint Eastwood did. It talks about the confusion of the raising of the Iwo Jima flag because there apparently were two different flags raised. And, you know, people get very bent on historical accuracy. And I understand why. I get why. But Rosenthal took 3 photographs atop Suribachi. The first, which showed 5 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman struggling to hoist the heavy flagpole, became the most reproduced photograph in history and won him a Pulitzer Prize. The accompanying motion picture footage attests to the fact that the picture was not posed. Of the 2 other photos, the second was similar to the first, but less affecting, and the third was a group picture of 18 Marines smiling and waving for the camera. Many of these men, including 3 of the Marines seen raising the flag in the famous Rosenthal photo, were killed before the conclusion of the battle for Iwo Jima in late March. In early 1945, U.S. military command sought to gain control of the island over Iwo Jima in advance of the projected aerial campaign against Japanese home islands. Iwo Jima, a tiny volcanic island located in the Pacific about 700 miles southwest of Japan, was to be a base for fighter aircraft and an emergency landing site for bombers. On February 19th of 1945, after 3 days of heavy naval and aerial bombardment, the first wave of U.S. Marines stormed onto Iwo Jima's inhospitable shores. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's also where Medal of Honor recipient John Basilone was killed. John Basilone had won the Medal of Honor. Now, forgive me for not knowing this. This is something that I should know. He'd won the movie series, The Pacific, that I think was also produced by Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, same ones that did the Band of Brothers HBO miniseries, did The Pacific. It covers the story of John Basilone. How accurate it is, I don't know. I can't give a testament to that, but it talks about how Basilone essentially underwent some serious fighting, won the Medal of Honor, went back stateside, went on a war bond kind of thing to sell war bonds, and then essentially said, I want to go back to the front. They sent him to Iwo Jima, and Guadalcanal. Thank you. Jesus Christ, I should have known that. Guadalcanal, and he went back to Iwo Jima, and he was killed in Iwo Jima. That is a badass motherfucker. That is a dude that, Jesus Christ, you tell me, like, this dude goes out there.
It's a real man.
Fights in Guadalcanal, wins the Medal of Honor, and then says, no, I want to go back. And he goes to Iwo Jima, and he dies over there, and it's just like, dude, like, here's the thing. I couldn't even imagine being one of his soldiers. Like, could you ever, like, let me give context for those that weren't in the military, don't know. The Medal of Honor is the highest honor, an award that you essentially get, and normally you get it when you die. Very rare does it occur that you actually win it and you're actually still alive. It's a very prestigious award. To put it into context for those that don't know, say, for example, a private first class, just like a baseline private, won that Medal of Honor for whatever reason, a 4-star general would salute him. That's how prestigious the Medal of Honor is, and it's not something that you take lightly. It is a very serious thing. There is the Order of the Medal of Honor. I spoke with Dakota Meyer. He and I have our differences, but Dakota won the Medal of Honor over in Afghanistan. There were various other Medal of Honor recipients in today's war, or the global war on conflict, or global war on terrorism. And the Medal of Honor is not something to be taken lightly. Now, when it first was created, it was actually handed out like candy. General MacArthur, he won one. His dad won one. It wasn't even for direct action. It was just the fact that they were leading, which I think was very disingenuous to the award. But now it's become much more prestigious and much more difficult to get. So imagine being under somebody that won the Medal of Honor, and that person's going to lead you in combat. Like, Jesus. Like, you better live up to that dude's standards.
A lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure. So, but anyway... That concludes this day in history. And today was the day that they hoist the flag in Iwo Jima. That's interesting. So, yeah, there's a lot of history there that I feel America's gotten out of touch with, that maybe we've kind of forgotten our roots. But there you have it. So, all right. That's so, like, incredible to see, like, the story of a man that does something to that extent. And I'm not taking from the Marines that were, other Marines that fought on Iwo Jima and died. There were a lot of them. It was sad to see, but all right, let's get into it. One more time. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the news. We're going to get at one of the... You need to have it to where it's just a button we can press.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
In today's news, President Biden is still in office. Thanks for watching, folks. Oh, my God. We do have a soundboard. It's just that we have a very weird studio set up. We're going to get it fixed.
Yeah.
We're building out an actual
working on it.
Studio in the back room of the...
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's entertainment. All right, so the news comes to us. Russian cyber attacks on Ukraine alarm global cybersecurity community. Russian cyber attacks on Ukraine have raised cybersecurity red flags globally. In January of 2021, Ukraine accused Russian hackers of cyber attacks on 70 government websites. The intrusions marked the latest wave of cyber issues for Ukraine, purportedly by Russian attackers. Last week, Ukraine placed the blame squarely on Russian cyber attacks for targeting 2 banks and its defense ministry, an act which was the largest of its type ever seen. According to a report by The Guardian, Russia has denied that it was behind the denial of service acts. Russia's cyber attacks on Ukraine have been ongoing for a few years as the crisis between both countries continues to escalate. The cyber attacks in Ukraine have since raised the alarm on cybersecurity globally as well. In the U.S., the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, a national security agency, NSA, published a joint cybersecurity advisory regarding Russia's state-sponsored cyber actors, an ongoing effort over the last several years to target the U.S. and its clear defense contractors. The advisory details the industries and information of Russian actors have targeted, commonly adversary tactics, detection and incident response actions, and mitigation recommendations. And this is not really going into the fact of what it was actually saying. But anyway, I got tweeted the article. I read it. Let me pull it up. It's on my Twitter. It's Sergeant Savage over on Twitter. You can check it out there. Where's it at? This is from Disclosed TV, who they're usually pretty dead on the money with a lot of things. Yeah, the U.S. Where's it at? Come on. Fuck, where's it at? Anyway, the point is, the Ukraine has confirmed there have been cyber attacks that have been ongoing now, and they have confirmed it is coming from Russia. They're saying they're targeting banks. They're targeting all sorts of things. So just keep that in mind. So essentially, Russia said they were going to do this too, and they've done it in the past. Here we are. They've already pushed into the 2 towns. They're going full force with this. It's not too late, though. I mean, you just never know. But as a result, this is the funniest part about this. This is the funniest part. Now, we want to talk about freedom of the press, and the press should have freedom. But my question is, what happens when it's literally a government-sponsored propaganda machine? Is it therefore then considered press? Like, what constitutes freedom of the press? Like, what constitutes being press? And I probably should look this up. But the reason I say that, here's the reason I say that. And it's why I take issue with this. how the Ukraine crisis is already hitting Americans' wallets. This was published by CBS News. And the way they phrased it on Twitter, which is really funny to me, is that essentially they're trying to give Biden a get-out-of-jail-free card for the economy and how it's been. And the CBS article on Twitter is published as the U.S. economy has been hit with increased gas prices, inflation, and supply chain issues due to the Ukraine crisis. Now, Biden did a televised address to the nation the other day, and he basically talked about how Americans are going to have to foot the bill for what's going on in Ukraine. This is interesting to me because right now you've got a massive propaganda machine espousing just complete and total BS. This is not the inflation that we've seen across the board is not in relation. Well, I mean, it will be, don't get me wrong. But prior to this Ukraine incident, it was all on Biden. You cannot blame a lot of this on Ukraine. This was happening when consumer loyalty tanked. Biden killed the Keystone Pipeline. Gas prices started rising. There are so many different things that come into play on this, and some of which did rely on Trump. But at the same token, you can't sit there and say, due to Ukraine kicking off now, this is the reasoning why we have inflation, higher gas prices. And we're going to get to more of this, though. The article says how the Ukraine crisis is already hitting Americans' wallets. Although many Americans may prefer that the U.S. stay out of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the brewing violence and political fallout are already hurting their wallets. Gasoline prices, which have hit 8-year highs, could surge even further if the hostilities escalate or if the U.S. lawmakers pass another round of sanctions. The economic impact could also move beyond the gas pump. Wall Street analyst warns sanctions over export controls against Russia could make current semiconductor shortages even worse, while restrictions on wheat or metals could drive the fiercest bout of inflation in decades to climb even higher. And here's the issue. Russia, for people that don't know, supplies a large portion of Europe's power, much less oil. If Russia shuts that off, we are in serious issue. We have a serious issue there, or at least Europe will, and America. This is global economics at this point. People don't realize that. So shockwaves across America, as described by CBS, says Russia is a major exporter of crude oil, accounting for about 12% of the world's supply. Any disruption in those exports is likely to drive prices at the pump higher for consumers, experts said. So like I said before, if you're an investor, go electric. Everything's going to be electric now for a little while, because as these prices go up, it's going to happen. That's what I'd be doing right now.
It doesn't help that.
And I'm not let me put that disclaimer out there. I am not a professional at this, but this is the direction I would go.
It doesn't help that he halted the oil gas leases.
Mm-hmm. We're covering that. That's another article. But Biden has also continued to halt this stuff to a point. He's making us more dependent on this foreign oil, making us way more dependent on it. Okay, if Russia makes a run on Ukraine, we could see oil prices over $100 a barrel next week, said Patrick Dehan, head of petroleum analyst at Gas Buddy, adding that average gas prices across the U.S. are likely to hit $4 a gallon in the weeks or months to come. That $4 is something we haven't seen in a long time. Now, I remember when the last time it was this bad. It was actually even worse. It was under Obama, I believe it was.
Oh.
No, wait.
Wow.
Was it Obama? No. Maybe it was Bush. I remember when I was stationed at Fort Campbell. It was Obama, yeah, because we were paying upwards of $5.50 a gallon at the tank, or at the...
Yeah,
I think,
it was rising under Bush,
insane.
but it was like $1.85.
Yeah, I do remember that it was in roughly 2009, 2008 time frame. Was that Bush or was that Obama? I forget off the top of my head.
2008 is Obama.
I don't know. Okay, so it was Obama. Okay, then yeah, so that was like, oh Jesus,
I'll tell you, man.
I guess that was a while back.
Such douchebags.
It's nuts to me. A key factor in how hard the conflict hits the economy will be how Russia responds to the U.S. sanctions that President Biden outlined Tuesday afternoon. Mr. Biden moved to cut off 2 Russian banks and the state's sovereign debt from Western financing, while individuals will also be targeted. The world economy does depend on global energy. How does the world sanction Russia's economy without Russia saying, we're going to take the next step for you and not export any more energy? He asked, if Russia's economy is going down the tubes, they're going to take the global economy with them. And they're right there. They're 100% right there. We've become so reliant upon foreign oil and things such as that right now, Russia's got a monopoly on this.
In the last year?
Yeah, interesting enough. And, again, we've talked about this before, that America, just in the state of Texas alone, we have enough oil to basically take care of America for at least 50 years. That's also not including Alaska. That's not including the Gulf. That's not including all the drill sites off the fucking eastern seaboard. There are so many things that we could be doing right now, and I think a lot of people's tactics, essentially, let's hold that in reserve to when the other things run out, we have our reserve ready to go. But at the same token, you're going people cannot afford $4 a gallon. They can't.
We were energy independent under Trump.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't relying on anybody else.
Yeah.
That's why the gas prices are just so low. I mean, Trump talked about that before he got into office. It's like all you have to do talk to OPEC.
Yeah,
they're dictating the prices. But when you have criminals,
they're making
governing.
Bank. These people are making bank. Yeah,
that's it.
And of course, right now, especially on social media and the Twitterverse, Democrat liberals are out there just trying to pin this on Trump, like this is Trump's fault. Of course, it's always Trump's fault. They always go back to Trump. They can't list why. They say, well, it's because Trump was, Putin was petting Putin on the head. It's like, are you kidding me? Okay. It's like the Steele dossier, the Russian collusion was a made-up fabrication under the Hillary campaign, which was proven. Even CNN outed her. When CNN turns on you, you know you fucked up. And CNN did. And liberals still double down on this idea that this is all Trump's fault, that Trump was like in bed with Putin, yada, yada, yada. That makes no sense to me because, again, if we were energy independent, as Trump made us, how are we like relying upon Russia to cut any kind of fucking deals under the table with that?
Weird.
I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I'm saying in regards to like reflection gas prices, that doesn't make sense to me. But at the same token now, you have a lot of interference with Biden and China. A lot of stuff is coming out about Hunter Biden now, facilitating deals with China that's actually being investigated, including Hillary. And Hillary has also basically said before that this is just another flex of Trump to try and deflect, spotlight onto me. It's like, dude, you've got your own lawyers outing you as well. And then again, here's the sad thing. Nothing will happen to this. Nothing will happen to these people. And I did read an article earlier that essentially was showing the video meeting of where Trump sat down with Europe and basically said, we're paying to protect you guys, but you just ushered in a deal with Russia that essentially is going to give them basically a monopoly and control of the oil, and you want us to finance you and protect you? That makes no sense. And Trump went after him. So Trump did good on that one. Trump had balls of steel that Biden clearly does not. And I remember it's just one of these things that Biden has continuously said. He's preached himself up saying, Putin doesn't want me to be elected because he knows I'll go toe-to-toe with him. Right now, and this is why liberals don't seem to understand where I'm coming from. It's like, well, I thought conservatives don't want to get involved. It's like, look, this is your president. This is who you voted for. This is what he promised to do. And right now, Putin is essentially giving Biden a middle finger. And another point to that is this didn't happen under Trump because Putin knew if he made a tripe like this, Trump would have fucking cracked him. He would have cracked him hard. Like, if you were to fuck around, we're going to play ball. It's fine. It's okay. But Biden is a weak president. And this is what people need to understand. When you have a political leader in office that does not live up to the idea of being an actual leader that has balls, the other countries of the world that hate us will take full advantage of that. And I'm simply saying, watch Taiwan. Watch Taiwan. Let's see. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I would not be surprised if China goes after him. Because, again, right now on the international stage, Biden looks insanely weak. Insanely weak.
Especially when he has Putin's balls across his face.
That's true, too.
Yeah, when he said toe-to-toe, what he really meant was on his knees.
And people can even sit there and say, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Gas prices reflect Biden's failed economy. And you cannot blame that on Trump. Because as soon as Biden cupped that fucking Keystone pipeline, boom, shit started going up. You canceled 10,000 jobs like your first 1 or 2 days in office. And then you want to sit there and you want to just blame everything on every single person out there except for your own personal decisions. See, horrible leader.
It's
horrible
better.
Leader.
It's better. I just built it back better.
Yeah. Here we go. And then, by the way, Biden also brought back Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. But he wanted to cancel out all the shit, and then slowly but surely, a lot of this stuff isn't hitting MSM, but he's bringing these policies back under the hopes that MSM isn't going to catch it and report on it. So a lot of these policies that are America first, I actually agree with. It's like, these are good policies. And of course, people are like, well, John, do you like Trump or not? I take it policy by policy. But again, right now we're seeing the Ukraine, unfortunately, have to deal with Russia, who has the ball in their court right now, because essentially the pipeline that they had worked with Europe to build would circumvent Ukraine and give Russia direct access to providing, Europe their oil. It's also, by the way, whenever we want, we can turn off the valve and you don't get shit. You have essentially put yourself in the position that person that controls the turn on and off spigot can do it whenever the fuck they want. So while while Russia's saying that, hey, we want these two towns back because, again, they're Russian loyalist towns, now we're going to continue taking all of Ukraine. By the way, if you halt that freaking pipeline that we're building with you, then there's going to be problems because we already supply a lot of your, again, it's like you put yourself in this disposition. What the fuck did you think was going to happen? Putin has been playing nice for a very long time, and people, I think, have gotten the wrong impression of Putin. Putin is a mean motherfucker. This dude was KGB.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is not someone to be fucked with. And I've warned the people about this. Here's the thing. I went on a little tirade on my Facebook today. It's like I sat there in 2015 doing these car rants talking to you about how political correctness and wokeness is going to destroy our military. How this new progressive ideology that is taking over our nation from these just insane liberals, this is what's happening. You've got Russia, you've got North Korea, you've got China that are manning the fuck up, that are embracing masculinity. Because I'll put it this way. It's not going to be the women fighting your wars. It won't. I'm telling you that right now. It won't be that. I don't give a fuck what many feminists that offends. It's going to be the men. It's going to be the men. And right now, our military is a woke joke. And I'm going to get to an article on this as well, as far as Lloyd Austin, who is another black supremacist in a fucking uniform. Well, not in a uniform anymore. The SecDef is a piece of shit. This guy is a loyalist to a tyrant. And also, another funny thing was Justin Trudeau. I posted this on my Instagram yesterday. Justin Trudeau comes out there. And let me let you listen to what old Justin Trudeau said. And, before I get to that, I was thinking about this. It's kind of like, you remember when like a lot of Democrats were like in favor of our enemies over Trump because they hated Trump so much? How the roles are reversed. It's kind of like, I think Putin is one of the weakest motherfuckers Biden is one of the weakest motherfuckers, and Putin is going to walk all over him. He's going to walk all over him. And at the same token, I don't like Biden. But the one thing I do respect about Putin is the guy at least lives up to his fucking standards. It's like, yeah, I'm a man. This is what I'm going to do. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck what the world thinks. Whereas in Biden is a populist.
Here's the difference between Biden and Putin is that
both
Biden,
are evil.
He's a criminal.
Yeah.
And he's a scumbag politician who will take a payout over freedom and liberty.
Which one are you talking about? Because they're both in that category. I mean, that's both of them. But
I don't think you could pay Putin off. He's more interested in power.
Oh, Putin wants money. He wants Russian expansion.
Right.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I think Biden is just more interested in getting a payout.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about.
Biden does not give a fuck.
He's a criminal.
We haven't had politicians in a very long time that actually gave it. Well, I think Trump probably did. That actually gave a shit. I think Trump did, as far as like American sovereignty.
Yeah.
Whereas in Putin has got the right idea as far as Russian sovereignty. China, same. It's like it's a land grab. You're
not gonna pay these politicians off. You can pay these politicians off. And that's the difference between our politicians and the politicians in some of these other countries.
I think a lot of that over there is ruled by fear, but I wouldn't put it past them to be payoffs.
But still, you're not going to pay off their politicians. At least in my mind, I don't think. I think over here, it's way easier to pay off these guys.
Way easier, yeah, but I would say the human condition of corruptibility is still existent even over there.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It seems like it's all we hear about over here is how the Bidens were doing these gas deals, natural gas deals over in the Ukraine,
you're not going to hear
over
about
in Russia, over in China, doing these deals. They're getting paid off.
You're not going to hear about a lot of that stuff over in Russia though, because they fucking basically say, like, you print this, like, we're going to kibosh you. I mean,
you think they're getting paid off? I don't know.
I kind of do. I think there's money under the table over there. I mean, I can't prove it, but at the same token, it's like,
in politics in general, I think you can hypothesize what goes on. Right?
Yeah.
You can probably just sit back and say, look at the big picture and say, these politicians over here are probably, he had a spy. He was dating a spy, Fang Fang.
Who are you talking about?
Fartwell.
Oh yeah, Swalwell.
Yeah. So you have all these American politicians.
Oh man.
Who have all these connections to these other countries, and it dictates how they govern.
Yeah,
because they're getting paid.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that.
That's what I think. Anyways, these guys are scumbag politicians. Why else would you stay in government?
Speaking of scumbag politicians, we just saw what happened with the Freedom Convoy in Canada. Justin Trudeau, tyrant at large. Who, I mean this when I say this guy should be put before a firing squad. He should. This guy is the very definition of a fascist leader. He's a fascist dictator. He assumed emergency powers and used police to violently suppress a peaceful protest. And essentially, in light of what's happened in Ukraine, Justin Trudeau goes out into the media and he has the audacity. He has the audacity to say this.
Our allies will defend democracy. We are taking these actions today to stand against authoritarianism. The people of Ukraine, like all people, must be free to determine their own future. We will continue working with our international partners to safeguard Ukraine's territorial integrity and prevent further Russian.
That's from Justin Trudeau, who literally, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, you cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that Justin Trudeau literally talks about authoritarian rule at the hands of Vladimir Putin, but does the same thing not 1 week ago to his own Canadian citizens. This is mind-blowing to me how anyone can turn a blind eye to this. You literally tried to brand them as racist domestic terrorists, so that way it strips them of their powers and rights as citizens to utilize a police force that is comprised of brown shirts to violently suppress them. You froze bank accounts. You tried, and also, for this is breaking news.
Arrested people.
You arrested people, and then one of the trucker convoy organizers, she was arrested, and she's been denied bail, and she's facing up to 10 years in prison for organizing a protest where no violence occurred. But you know how you fix it next time? Send black people. There you go. That's all you got to do. American trucker convoy kicking off, send the black people. Because nobody will fuck with them. They're a protected class. They burned down buildings in the BLM riots. Black privilege. No frozen accounts. You had Kamala Harris and the rest of them setting up little GoFundMes to bail out a lot of these criminals that were burning down businesses. Nothing happened. But instead, we elect them. We elect them. So, to fix that, send black people. Send minorities. Because they're untouchable. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not pulling any punches anymore. This is the truth. This is the truth of the matter. And the accusations of racism stuff, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what you have to say about me. I really don't give a fuck about that. This is the truth. As been proven with the actions of governments across the world, much less America. And we have let it happen because we're so afraid. Well, I would say white progressives have let it happen because they're so afraid to call out the bullshit of black supremacy within the left. Because it does exist. Black favoritism, it does exist. Oh, my God. And talk about, like, people wanting to flip-flop here. And this is just really funny to me. Y'all remember Stephen King, the horror writer? He's the author of the books It and some other shit out there. Stephen King was also a hardcore Trump hater. Wanted him to die, all kinds of crazy shit. This guy is so off the walls. I mean, he's got an evil mind. He's got a twist in him. You don't write books like that and not have, like, some kind of inner...
psychopath.
Yeah, inner monologue that's, like, rooted in evil. But Stephen King makes a tweet today, and you're going to see, or yesterday, you're going to see more of this come to pass. Hold these liberals accountable. He said, Mr. Putin has made a serious miscalculation. Mr. Putin. Oh, wow, okay. If Trump had said that, you would have accused him of, like, sucking Putin's dick. But Stephen King says, Mr. Putin has made a serious miscalculation. He forgot he's no longer dealing with Trump. Gen X says, Marjorie Taylor Greene for Speaker of the House. Fuck no. Fuck no. Absolutely not. Congressional Karen? No, thank you. Absolutely not. I'd rather have Rand Paul. No, thank you. I'm sorry. Anyone that promoted QAnon and Jewish space lasers, I have no respect for. Absolutely not.
Jewish space lasers.
I still can't believe people come to this chat and, like, promote her. Like, absolutely not. She's an idiot. But again, I want to read this. He says, Mr. Putin has made a serious miscalculation. He forgot he's no longer dealing with Trump. Even the diehard liberals are not going to be able to skirt around the fact that you elected a weak leader who was riddled with dementia, that you ignored. And I remember having debates on this on Twitch when I was doing debates all the time. And every single one of these leftist Twitch debaters, well, you're not a doctor. You can't recognize this. I mean, are you a doctor? That's what it's come down to. So unless you have the certifications and qualifications to make a speculative assumption based upon the characteristics they're displaying, that one just has to go look up the definition of what it is and what it entails. Like, I'm seeing the stuff right there. Stumbling over his speech. He's getting tired earlier in the day. He has no idea where he's at. This is common. This is a very common thing. And you elected him anyway because, drum roll, mean tweets. Mean tweets. And it brings about a series of points that I wanted to make. And the first one of which is for an LGBT community or liberal community or trans community and all these communities out there, because we have every kind of fucking community on the sun. For you to be so empowered, words break you. Signs break you. I was looking at Ian Smith's Instagram. He's running for Congress out of New Jersey. And his opponent, I think is Andy Kim or something like that. I forget who this guy is. I went and looked at his Instagram, and he's a Governor Murphy loyalist. Governor Murphy is the one that imposed all these freaking draconian measures on New Jersey, locked him down. He's going after Ian Smith. He's a piece of shit governor. And his Ian's opponent on there, he put a picture of a swastika, or it's a picture of a swastika, and it says, "We are here and everywhere." Paraphrasing there. And it says, "We cannot tolerate this." Blah blah blah. This is what I mean when people's talking about screaming out into the ether. Like you're screaming about nothing that you can actually change. We stand against Nazism. Cool. So do the rest of us. But you're responding to words, a fucking sign. Here's what you do. Because at the root of all this is why they do this. And I'm going to prove it here. All you got to do is take the sign down, crumble it up, and throw it in the fucking trash. And it goes away. Or we could do the opposite. We take a picture of it, we put it on social media, we promote it, we give the very same people that did it the spotlight they were wanting, not because we really wanted to fight against Nazism. We just wanted to sit there and grandstand how altruistic and virtuous we are because I stand against Nazism. Please, I challenge any fucking liberal out there, any one of you motor mouth retards that have your head so far up your goddamn ass, I challenge you, show me where Nazism has taken root in America that is shown by the actual party of Nazism. And I guarantee a 3/4 percentile of you cannot even tell me what Nazism, when it comes to economics, even pertains to. Because the majority of you root Nazism into racism, which it did. But when it comes to the economic application of it, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You are using talking points pushed by MSM and buzzwords that have been used repetitiously by liberal media, by liberal figureheads, because that's what they want to create. They have to create this fictitious enemy that exists in America that really doesn't. Hence, the BLM with racism. It doesn't exist. Not to the level that you say it does. Does racism exist in America? Of course it does. Does Nazism exist? Bro, I have not met a single fucking actual card-carrying Nazi. Now, I have seen communists. I have seen socialists.
Yeah.
Hassan Piker, by the way, worst fucking socialist ever. He just goes out there and buys a $200,000 Porsche or car or something like that. He buys a $3 million mansion and then buys a $200,000 car. And you presume to sit there. You presume to sit there and lecture your little fucking Gen Z simps that don't know shit about fuck, but they think they do because they all want to be activists, social media activists, slacktivists, and you turn around, each according to their needs, each according to all this stuff, like a basic communist manifesto, and you promote socialism because we want fair, equal rights, and then you turn around and you spend all this money, and here's the thing. I support his right to do it. That's capitalism, baby. That's capitalism. Good for you. You're using a system that actually works. And he says he's giving back to charities. Awesome.
Is he?
So he says he is. I guess I've got to take him at his word. But it just goes to show you that these openly known socialists are fucking honestly hypocrites at heart. Because again, if it's all about equitable shares and wages and things such as that, shouldn't you be giving that money to those that actually need it more than you? And what dictates how much you need? Who gets to dictate to that? The government? Oh, fuck no. Absolutely not. And that's nuts to me. But again, this is where we're at. This is where and again, I support Hassan's ability to do whatever the fuck he wants with his money. But one thing that loser needs to do, stop promoting socialism. If you're going to use a capitalistic means to get to where you're at, stop bitching about it. And put your money where your mouth is, no pun intended. Give away your wealth. Give away your wealth. Do it. Show the world that socialism can work by a community-funded project, by giving away your money. Focus on your community. Change that. Take only what you need and give the rest away. Isn't that the very, isn't that the very premise of it? Your capitalistic system uses evil money that dishonors infinite human worth. I'm sorry. Name me a better model, please. I challenge you. Your capitalistic system. You're on a platform that was created by capitalism, bitching about capitalism. I'm sorry, but your fucking whining falls on deaf ears. And I'll put it this way. If you are so adamant about that, get the fuck out of America. Go live in a communist country. Go to Russia. Go to China. Stop coming here and bitching about how bad you think we've got it while you're on your fucking iPhone and you whine about it. You're not real activists. You're fakers. You are just whining to whine about something because you've got it so fucking good. That's all you care about. You just want to be noticed because honestly, your mom and dad didn't love you enough. Instead of like sitting there giving you everything you need, they should have whooped your ass. So if you feel so adamant that capitalism is such an evil system, it's so oppressive and it doesn't value the human worth. You know what the human worth actually comes down to? The worth you give yourself by investing and learning a trade on yourself. No, I don't think a burger flipper deserves $15 to $20 an hour. No, it's not. That's not a skill that you got to put a lot of money into learning about. Well, we all have respect and value. Yeah, go respect yourself. I'll be real with you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You keep wanting to intertwine this idea of how we have to be so loving and coddle people and pay them a good, decent wage. What's a decent wage? Please explain that to me. Because basically what you're telling me as a capitalistic business owner, I've got to increase wages based upon the fact that the economy is currently in fucking shambles by a weak-ass fucking leader that we have, with inflation hitting across the country. Now I, as a business owner, have to foot that fucking responsibility after I already paid taxes into a busted system. So no, it's not capitalism that's failing us. It's corporatism at the hands of a failed government and human beings out there that are susceptible to corruption. And if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, it's always going to be that way and will always be this way. Why? Because the human condition does not change. Mm-hmm. It does not change. The only way you can prevent something like this is checks and balances to such a draconian degree that it cannot be changed. Term limits have to come into play. No more career politicians. No more investing in stock trades by politicians or their families. Nothing like that. And penal system needs to start applying to our elected officials. But it doesn't. Because the power never relinquished power. It doesn't happen. Especially in communist and socialist countries. Especially. So you want to sit there and talk about the inherent worth of a human life. Please spare me. Your socialist countries murder how many motherfuckers? Get the fuck out of here. I notice you're not posting that on Facebook from Venezuela.
Jump.
Fucking losers. It's always the broke losers that want to promote socialism. Or you got your grifters like Hassan and the rest of these morons. Like, oh yeah, I'm for socialism. And then you're raking in millions of dollars off the system that you claim to hate so much. Get the fuck out of here. And again, all of you Twitch streamers out there, and that's what I love about you, all these fucking lefty types out there, none of you, hardly any of you actually own a business. Oh my God, they're hoarding all the money. For those listening, I'm pretending like I'm shitting myself. Do you know what people actually do with their money? Do you know what rich people actually do with their money? Can anybody get to take a guess? Smart business owners do not hoard their money. That is the stupidest thing you could do. But you Twitch streamers, you know all about it because you own companies. This is me speaking from owning a $4.2 million company in under 2 fucking years. You know what you actually do with your money? Thank you, chat. You invest. You invest that money back into the economy. You invest it in startups. You invest it in real estate. You invest and you are creating jobs. Jesus Christ.
I know you want to see wages go up. How about lower taxes?
Yeah, how about that? That's a pivotal point right there.
That could solve a problem.
We talked about this in other shows. We paid over $500,000 in taxes last year. $500,000, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to give my employees, because we operate an overhead expense. We have an overhead expense that we cannot bust through. I would love to bring on more employees and expand us, but at some points we can't afford it. Because we get crushed in taxes. We have a payroll tax. We have an inventory profit tax. We got all this bullshit out there. And the only way to really get ahead in life is you cheat the system. And if you cheat the system, which I actually kind of support, if you want to fucking cheat your taxes, fuck the government.
Yeah.
We don't. We have to play it legal because apparently I don't want our people to get fucked by them closing our shops down. But take it where you can get it. But at the same token, we have to pay into a busted system. So explain to me why this capitalistic system that is apparently so bad, I have to pay a fair wage. When inflation has just crippled our economy. Gas prices are $4 at the pump. Groceries are going up. Why? Inflation caused by your bitch boy in office right now. So you're telling me I should foot the responsibility and pay higher wages as well as increase taxes? So be double penalized by creating jobs and creating business? Like, get the fuck out of here. You morons on Twitch, you leftist streamers, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You sit there and you have all these great ideas. Oh, you know why? Because I read it in a book. I read it in a book. Invite me on your show. I don't give a fuck about you. You're a fucking nobody. You're in my chat, and you better fucking remember that. You know my goddamn. I don't give a fuck who you are. You want to criticize capitalism, sir? How fucking dare you come on your show? Who's it hosted by? Who created it? Is it SoundCloud? Is it Podbean? Capitalistic ventures that created these? Is it that? Please explain to me more, because you clearly know. So I'm not criticizing cap. I'm criticizing the money. Money makes the world go round, bro. That's the way it works. And I got another bone to pick. These vet flakes out there. Look, I know Black Rifle has done some wrong things that I don't actually agree with, but you veterans out there, a lot of you don't know what the fuck you're talking. Oh, it's all about profits now. It's always been about profits. You name me one fucking business that goes into business that it's not about profits, please. Otherwise, you're not going to be in business very long. You're goddamn right it's about profits. You fucking morons don't know a goddamn thing about what you're talking because none of you own businesses. You've never taken the fiscal risk to go out there and invest in something and put your fucking life's worth into something. Josh and I are on hook on this building for $7,500 a month for the next 4 fucking years. If this company goes tits up, we're bankrupt. We're fucked. Probably never going to open up another business. But you didn't take that fiscal risk. None of you have. But you want to sit there from your armchairs and you want to criticize, oh, it's all about the profits, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is all about the profits because without profits, we don't expand and I can't hire people. So what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, because they didn't do it your way because your way is so effective based upon the books that you read that you've actually never put into actual practice. How do I know this? Because I've been doing it for the last 2.5 fucking years. And every day we get raped in fucking taxes, you idiots. Jesus Christ. Yes, I'm sorry. There's some veteran. I'm not sorry. Some of you vet flakes, shut the fuck up.
Get me fired up.
Fucking whine about all this bullshit that you know jack shit about. But you're going to sit there and you're going to tweet, oh, man, it's all about profit. Look, Black Rifle gives back a lot of money. They do. A lot of shit that you don't even know about. JT and I have long conversations. They donate a lot of fucking money, even stuff that's behind the scenes, not illegal, but they don't publish it to actually help people. Do I agree with some of the things that, fuck no, I don't. I'm not done business with them. I'm friends with JT, but at the same token, I see the other side of this and all these veterans like, you're not doing it the way I'm. Well, then go fucking start a coffee company. Go do it. Nothing's stopping you. I've supported Frontier Coffee Company, Red Clover Coffee Company. I've supported a lot of veteran coffee companies. I endorse them. I give them my platform to help them make sales. Are you supporting them? Are you going out there and launching your own coffee company? Or are you going to sit there and bitch that they're not doing it the way you like it done? Because it's all about the profits. It's all about the money. Fuck yes, it is. It has to be. What else is it going to be about? Changing lives? Well, I'm not going to change your life by giving you a penny. Christ's sake, I sold my own fucking car for $14,000 and gave that money away with nothing asked in return. Mm-hmm. But you say, motherfuckers, you will turn on me in a heartbeat if I do or say something that you don't 100% agree with. Deuces, I don't need you. You weren't a customer anyway. I don't give a fuck. You people are so quick to judge and so slow to actually do anything on your own because you're afraid. You're fucking afraid, or you just don't know how. But suddenly you're the subject matter expert on how to actually run a company or an effective business. And the same thing applies to you leftist Twitch streamers out there that want to sit there and talk about how much better you can get. I tweeted about it this morning. I said this before. Dude, I got to suck my own dick for a second. I've been right about a lot of fucking shit. And no one's going to give me those kudos except me. 2015, all the rants I did about wokeism in the military, it's coming to fruition. Are you going to kiss my ass now? All the bro vets out there that want to come after me. Oh, you're a horrible example of a veteran. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm crying all the way to the bank, baby. I don't give a shit. I've carved out my niche and I'm trying to be successful. But you other motherfuckers, where are you at? For years, I talked about this. Dozens of viral videos expressing this. To be met back with other veterans like, you're a poor excuse for a veteran. You don't reflect the veteran. Where are you at now? Where are you at now? You've got psychological disorders running rampant in the military. You got a Secretary of Defense and General Miley that are pieces of shit traitors to the Constitution. Where are you at now? Please. You wearing your 5'11 pants and grunt style t-shirts with your American flag on both shoulders and your fucking ball cap with your little fupa hanging over your thing. That's what you're doing right now, isn't it? I was like John, the veteran Baptist out there screaming in the online wilderness like, hey guys, we got a problem. I'm sitting here saying this is why I'm getting out of the military. You couldn't even pay me enough to serve under Biden. And then I turn around, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I wouldn't want to serve in this military because it's bullshit. Dude, can you imagine being in my position where you serve in the military for 13 fucking years, fight this bullshit global war on terrorism, come back with all kinds of fucked up psychological issues, only have to turn around and say, I stand against the very same thing I fought for. Mm-hmm. How difficult that must be for me. I am so erect right now under this desk. It is incredible.
Can't imagine.
You motherfuckers want to come out there with your arm. There's a lot of talkers and not a lot of doers. And that's the thing. I'm not taking any advice or any criticism or anything like that from a non-doer. You either do or you do not. And if you do not have the right to sit there and lecture me of all people or any other business owner out there as far as how they should do it. Because I'll tell you this, the first thing I tell people, and this comes off as extreme arrogance, but I really don't fucking care. The first thing I ask them is, what are you doing? that gives you the right, much less the experience, to lecture me on that. Oh, well, I have a degree. I don't give a fuck about your degree. You show me the successful business that you started. You show me, and then I'll take your advice. I go to Andy Frisella for advice. You know why? He's done it. I don't go to some fucking loser veteran that has never done anything. Not a goddamn thing. Veteran community needs to hear this shit. Either put up or shut the fuck up. I've done both. I've put up a lot of money, given a lot of money back. But the moment I say something or do something that the community doesn't like, they will be quick to turn on me. Very same ones that talk about freedom to do stuff. Because remember, we talked about that on one show. I was like, look, I think it's almost kind of hypocritical that if we sit there and say that we're going to pull our money or our support from a company that does not do things the way we want them to do or stand for what we want them to stand for, then what the hell are we talking about fighting for freedom of speech? Yeah. Or fighting for freedom, like the freedom to do what you want. It's only freedom that we're going to support as long as it aligns with our own viewpoints. So that's why I had to pull back from the cancel culture. It's like, I see it now. I agree. That's hypocritical of me. But these same capitalists, like the one in the chat, capitalism is so bad. Terrible. It's just such a terrible thing. Meanwhile, they live in America. And they host a podcast on a technological built system that was funded, and probably in whole, by capitalism.
Oh,
it certainly wasn't socialism.
100% capitalism.
100% capitalism.
Wasn't socialism.
Come on my show. These fucking grifters. You want a piece of John Burke. You want to use my coattails to grow your fucking audience. If you're such a special individual and you got something worth listening to, then fucking say it. Go make some viral videos. Go take some internet beatings like I've done. But you are not going to get my fucking clout, and you're most certainly not going to get access to my platform. Not going to happen. Come on my show at the top of the hour. Fuck you and your show. The fuck about you. Crybabies. Capitalism. It's so horrible. Just like LeBron James talking about how it's all corruption, blah, blah, and then you have your sneakers launched by Nike, made in sweatshops in China. Like, please, spare me. I'm tired of listening to this. I'm a prick today, and God, it feels good. Anyway, all right. Let's pump the brakes real quick. Pump the brakes real quick and go to a different topic. This is something that I have noticed that is very concerning to me. And this is where I kind of have a little bit of a conflict of interest here. Now, many of you know I lean more center-right, not die-hard Republican. But there's something that I've been chewing on for a while now and questioning my own beliefs because I feel like maybe a shift is coming again. For those who have not seen this, this is from the Daily Mail. This is actually true. Revealed Biden's 34-year-old pick for top nuclear waste job endured conversion therapy, torture at hands of Southern Baptist missionary parents, and is now non-binary drag queen who enjoys pup play and worships Daddy Fauci. This is a person put into position of government by our elected president, and I use that term very loosely. And now normally, I don't care what you do behind closed doors. Your sex life is your sex life. You want to have sex with another man, I don't care. But at what point do we have to draw the line and say, okay, now we have gone down the realm of immorality? Immorality was the number one reason why the Empire of Rome fell. Political corruptness and immorality ran rampant. Now, if you're a believer in Christ, you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, same thing. America has fallen into immorality. Now, I still believe in your freedom to do whatever you want. But let me read this for you. And I'm going to ask you some questions here. They're going to make you question even your beliefs because I don't have an answer to this. Sam Brighton, 34, announced last month that they had been hired for a role in Biden's Department of Energy. Brighton was born a male but now identifies as non-binary. Where in the history of the world would you ever think that we'd have something so insane as this? You can support your freedom to do what you want, but I can still reserve the right to use my First Amendment to say this is fucking crazy, and I do not support this. I don't think it should be made illegal, but I'm certainly going to speak out against it. I think this is just insanity.
Yeah.
Non-binary. They are married to a man and live in Maryland. In their spare time, they are Sister Ray D, active in the Order of Perpetual Indulgence, a group of drag queens who dress as nuns to raise awareness of transphobia and sexual intolerance. At the Nuns' Lavender Mass in 2021, Brenton sang a song in honor of Daddy Fauci. They have spoken openly about enjoying pup play, where they handle their partner, Newbie. They have given lectures on the physics of kink.
I don't even know what the hell you're saying right now.
There's pictures coming. And just be warned, people that are watching on Twitch and Facebook, it gets a little weird. The physics of kink refer to themselves as the slutty, nerdy one in the groups and say they have visited the White House in heels. Britton's parents are Peggy Jo and Stephen, Southern Baptist missionaries who now live in Iowa. When they were in middle school and living in Florida, Britton says they were subjected to conversion therapy. The non-binary drag queen, let me pause this. The non-binary drag queen who has been tapped for a nuclear waste job in Biden's Department of Energy was born the son of Southern Baptist missionaries, was forced into conversion therapy as a middle schooler, but now lectures on kink activism, enjoys sexual pup play, and worships Daddy Fauci. Last month, they proudly announced on LinkedIn that they had accepted the job of Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in the Office of Nuclear Energy for the Department of Energy. The White House is yet to confirm their appointment to the role. Brighton said that they were first gender-fluid person to accept a role in federal government leadership. Again, this is just more me, I need attention. You're gender-fluid. No, you're fucking weird. You have a psychological disorder. It's clear. The Washington Examiner also reports that they served as a nuclear waste advisor in the Trump administration. And again, even something like that, it's like, what the fuck? Britton's past is a colorful one. Born in 1987, their parents, Peggy Jo, something about, they keep repeating the same shit. They appear to maintain a close bond with their two youngest kids, but were not present at Sam's wedding to Kevin in 2019. Britton is not shy online about their sexual proclivities. In 2016, they took part in a Metro Weekly article about enjoying the genre of sexual fetish known as pup play, where they talked about handling their pup, Newbie, who apparently is another human being, and why they feel judged by people who assume they like to have sex with animals. Okay, well, this is a picture. Again, graphic warning. I guess this is a newbie. This is the dude that they tapped. I guess also served under Trump's administration. And all I can do is, like, I think this guy has a tail sticking out of his ass. He's in leather. He's got the paw things on his hands. He's on all fours. He's got a dog leather mask. And this guy's got a leash around him.
This is totally normal.
This is totally normal. Now here's the other part, though.
There is nothing weird
but here's
going
the
on
thing,
here.
and this is where I'm conflicted. You do whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as you're not infringing on somebody else's rights. I don't care. But
you can do whatever you want. But I'm going to sit back here and be like,
this
is weird.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Like what you're doing here, that's not fucking normal. I'm sorry.
No, it's not normal.
Like,
Absolutely
good
not.
for you. But that's
We continue looking at other pictures. A pup handler's relationship is more than just a glorified pet sitter. Each pup and handler have to work out the details of what they're looking for to get out of the experience. Everyone's role is different. Everyone's dynamic is different, says Griffin. With my dynamic right now, we decide very early on in the meeting that we were boyfriends first, so before anything ever happens, we're equal. Then, when we're getting into role play or scenes, he becomes above me, but in every other aspect, we're equal. Other handlers exert more dominance over their charges, as in the case of Sir Paris and Horo. Again, this is the same dude. Sam Brighton is a pup handler, 2016 issue of Metro Weekly and Newbie, blah, blah. He's wearing lipstick, yeah. And then he's in drag. He's in heels. He's got his puppies. If you're watching the stream on Twitch, you'll see what I'm talking about. Look, I mean, this is where I'm so torn on this. You know, I support your right to do what you want, but we still have to look at the idea of society as a whole it's decaying into sexual immorality, because this leads to other things. This is going down a very, very slippery road. This guy he clearly has psychological issues. He was put into conversion therapy, which I don't agree with. No. But even that could leave lasting impacted psychological issues. Are these the people?
It twisted his mind up into some sort of knot that this happened. Like, what the hell is going on?
I don't understand.
Like, where are we? What's going on?
And then here he is in lipstick with some kind of weird leather choker and stuff like that. Okay, now here's the difference. If a man loves a man and they're homosexual, it's based upon love. Not lust, it's love. Lust can also be a factor of it. And that's why the LGBT has lost a lot of support. Because when you have your gay pride parades and men walking around next to nothing, what does that have to do with homosexuality? Yeah. The definition of what they were at least trying to change homosexuality to was perversion. Was to walk through the streets with your ass hanging out. Like, that would be like, it just doesn't make sense to me. What does one have to do with the other? It's like you're wanting people to support your outward display of just perversion, which, again, if that's what you want to do, I really don't care, but do it in your own house. Leave it there. But we've become a society so wrapped up in identifying with our sexual identity because that's everything of who we are, because we want to be special. This is the millennial generation grown up where everybody gets a trophy. This is it. And this is personified it. And this guy is having a picture next to Jane Fonda, who should have been executed a very long time ago.
Now, she looks like a man.
If you don't know the story behind Jane Fonda, go Google her. Google why the Vietnam generation loathes this cunt. As they should. As they should. This woman is a traitor. Here is more of this guy. He's in drag. He's wearing something on his head. I don't know what that is. This is at the core of it. This guy has got problems. There are serious issues here. Do you really want somebody like this tapped to do the job? I have no faith in this. None. But at the same token, I'm torn because it's like, look, it's your right to do whatever you want to do. And he has the right to go out there and talk about these. He has that right. But this also goes into this idea, or this understanding that I have, is that the more freedom that Americans have, the less that I think we are able to handle it as a society. Because this right here is only going to get worse. We've seen it in the progressive left, the grooming of children. We've seen drag queen story hour, rooted in sexuality, being forced upon the youth. We have CRT, which the left is split on, saying, oh, it doesn't exist. And then they turn around and say, well, why are you trying to ban it? It's like, well, if it doesn't exist, why are you concerned with us trying to ban it if it doesn't exist? It makes no sense to me. We continue down this road into immorality. The things that we face now in our society as a result of progressive ideas are toxic masculinity, third wave campus feminism. These things have taken root in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying this and I truly believe it. America is going to fall. We are going to fall as a nation. Now, here's the thing. I am all for the freedom of religion. But when America turned its back on God, this is what happens. This is what happens. But I'm not for the forced religion on anybody. You should have the right to worship as you see fit. But this is what happens when you lack morals.
A guy with boobs on his head.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought the same thing.
This guy's a nut job.
Said Nikki. Remember that movie Nikki with Adam Sandler?
Yeah. Is Nikki talking like this all the time? Here's another photo of this guy, the same dude. He's got a mustache, red lipstick, bald head, and he's wearing a woman's dress.
Gorgeous.
With high heels.
Gorgeous.
Sam Brighton attends the Trevor Project's Trevor. In 2019, they are a survivor of conversion therapy and regularly speaks at events about their experience. You're a man that is wearing a woman's dress. And yes, women's dresses are tailored to women to look a certain way. This guy is just so far out there. And you want him in government? Like, you really want him in government? I don't. Another photo of these activists, their group, I forget what it was called. Britain and the rest of the Sisters of Indulgence. Sisters of Indulgence. Another name right there that just rings bells. Indulgence in what? These people are unhinged.
Wait, are they in whiteface?
They're in whiteface. That's so racist.
God.
That is so racist. Well, it's blue and pink face. And it's just fucking weirdos. They say in their bio on the Sisters website, they started their journey as an altered boy and is now a proud sister. Once again, infringing on what it means to be a woman. These people have no respect for individual sexes. They are not about equality, because if they were, they would respect the fact that a woman is a woman. Biologically, she is a woman. These men do not undergo the trials and tribulations that women undergo due to their hormones, their ovaries, menstruals, or menstruating, things like that, birthing, all these things that are, biologically inherent to women only.
Yeah.
And then you have these people out there trying to say that transgender men actually bleed. No, you don't. I'm sorry, transgender women, men converted to women. No, you don't bleed. You do not have ovaries. You do not drop an egg from your uterus. You don't do any of that. You have a penis and testicles. There are no eggs in there. The only egg that you have is between your ears because you are so fucked up in the head. And this is where I'm torn. To promote the freedom to do as you wish only promotes this type of behavior. Where does the line get drawn to where it's like, this should not be accepted?
Now, is there some sort of dress code that needs to be followed? Like, is he going to show up in a gown every day to work?
He apparently loves dresses. I mean, he's in dresses all the time. I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'm willing to give him a chance if he's good at his job, but I
don't think. I think
his
it's going
blouse
beyond
gets
that.
caught in a piece of machinery, that could cause.
I don't think he's actually doing the work. I think he's more in the upper management groups. He could have the most impressive resume. I'm not knocking that, but where is the line getting drawn before it goes? This guy's into pup play.
Yeah,
like I'm just kind of like, okay, so why do you want your?
What if there's like bring a pet to work?
Like, stop looking at Athena like that, dude. I will kill you. You get away from my fucking dog.
He's going to come to work with his husband.
This is his husband. You can clearly tell they're very effeminate. This is the ramifications of what attacks on masculinity create. Very effeminate men. Very, very effeminate men. Britain with their husband, Kevin. Britain, why do they keep saying there? With his husband, Kevin. They live in Maryland.
That's just the pronoun. It's so...
Fuck their pronouns.
It's so confusing.
Yeah, you don't have the
when
right.
When you're talking and reading the story and they're saying they and them. And
you don't have the right to monopolize language and say, you have to call me this. No, I don't. No. I most certainly do not.
Sorry.
And the more that you bring attention to it, the more I'm going to make fun of you of it. When I go on Twitter and I see the bio pronouns, I make fun of them. It's like, you tell me everything I need to know about. You're a attention seeker.
Yeah.
Even conservative figures that I see, and I follow a few on Instagram, I see them doing the same thing. Even though the pronouns are she, her, why are you even participating in that stupidity?
Yeah.
Don't even give it the time of day as far as like actively engaged. That's why I always put pronouns are penis. Just for make people laugh. That's where I stand.
That's where it is.
We have gone off the realm or the rails of sanity into insanity. And at the baseline of it all, it boils down to pedophilia. That's where it all goes towards. I honestly believe that.
Yeah,
maybe not all of it.
Agree.
Maybe not all of it.
I'm going to say like 90%.
But I'd say a lot of it is going down the realms of grooming child sexual or predators, child predators grooming children. I also read the lady that was on Smallville who was busted for the child sex trafficking, woman sex trafficking.
Yeah.
I forget her name. She had, I think, groomed somewhere upwards of 17 women to have sex with this cult leader. Being that she did a plea deal, she got 3 years. 3 years.
Sounds about right.
3 fucking years. Increased immorality and perversion on display for the public. A weaker penal system that allows criminals to go free and not pay for their crimes. This is what happens.
See, I wonder how
this
many
is what happens when Democrats take control, when liberals take over. And I'm not calling for the opposite effect of like an authoritarian government. I'm not. But I'm saying this is what Democrats get you. And if Republicans would stop being so church and state being the same and respect individual religions and stop trying to force Christianity on the people, then we'd probably have like a happy medium there. But we don't. We have one that's so far off the hinges on the left and some that are so far off the hinges on the right. And people like me in the middle going like, I don't know where I land anymore because it feels like both parties have gone fucking insane.
See, it makes me wonder how many of these people were molested as children, which goes into...
A lot of people. I don't have those numbers on me. A lot of those people were sexually molested as children.
So, I mean, because we were talking before the podcast here about...
Allison Mack. Thank you, Chad. Allison Mack.
What's her face? Ellen Page from Juno.
Yeah.
Who just came out with her memoir book.
Yeah, you were saying this before the podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
So she talks about how, she was propositioned at 16 by a very powerful director. Of course, she doesn't give any names.
Yeah.
But she goes on to talk about, it leads you to believe that she was probably molested as a child under the age of 18, obviously. But now she's a trans man. So there was obviously some sexual abuse that went on when she was a child actor, and this is the result.
Yeah, and now she's protecting the very same people.
Yeah, it's
so funny to me.
So why wouldn't you name these people? Yeah. So she goes on to say a very where is it? Low-time industry, Hollywood. Male film director.
You know why they're not going to name them?
A big movie star.
They want to stay in Hollywood. They want to stay in that fringe group of rich elites in Hollywood to be A or B list actors and actresses. Therefore, they're going to try and toe the line of equality and blow the whistle without actually doing it. They want to get their cake and eat it too. Is what it is. Pick a side. Of course, I'm sorry, I got no respect for her. It's like you want to sit there and you want to talk about all this, then fucking out them, take them to court, make them example, but you won't.
Yeah,
what do you want me to do?
You're a grown adult now.
Exactly.
Let's do the right thing.
Do the right fucking thing.
Protect other children.
You're literally shielding people from these perverts in Hollywood that, like from what you said, molested her at 15 or attempted to. You are shielding them. You are allowing these predators to go. But also, at the same token, I got to take what you say at face value. Yeah. Either you come with proof or you don't. Yeah. And if you don't have the proof, then I'm sorry, but I can't believe you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sit there and indict in my own mind someone that you have no evidence on. Yeah, because we've also seen women lie, men lie.
Was that Lena Dunham's?
Lena Dunham, another piece of shit human being.
her rape claim in 2013.
Who actually molested her sister, and she confirmed that. She had admitted to that. Just disgusting.
Turned
This
out
is
to be
the
a hoax.
immorality that Hollywood has spawned.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when these Hollywood figures are falling on hard times based upon their own choices. I feel nothing for them. You knew what you were getting involved in, and then when that snake bit you that you picked up, don't sit there and drop it and turn the rest of us saying, I was a victim. You knew what you were going into.
Yep.
And the fact is, when that first event happened, when she was 15, if her parents didn't pull her out of there, what the fuck are you thinking?
I know, man. I couldn't imagine like putting my child in that sort of environment,
yeah.
knowing that it's riddled with pedophilia.
100%. Jeffrey Epstein's other dude, another one of his model groomers, killed himself. Yeah. Hung himself. And just, again, you want to talk about the corruption in government. This dude was in a cell, and he killed himself. And by the way, the guards didn't see it because the cameras malfunctioned.
What's going on there?
Really? This is the pedophilia ring that is rampant in Hollywood. It's worldwide, honestly.
These prisons have the strongest toilet paper.
That's crazy. Strongest toilet paper, the sleepiest guards, and the most malfunctioning electronics we've known to man. You can go to Guantanamo Bay and get better service as far as guarding somebody. Yep. You go to these elite prisons and people are just killing themselves left and right. It's like, oh, sorry, he was murdered.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the same thing. It doesn't even matter at this point because Giselle or Jazane, whatever the fuck her name is, what happened to that? She got brought up in trial. The Black Book of Names. Who's in the book? Who's in the fucking book?
Who's in the book? Yeah, I know.
Who's in the book? Names aren't going to be released for what? You know why? Because they're protecting high up government fucking employees, government politicians. All it is. There is stuff going down behind the scenes. Justice is not being had. Justice is being given its a different version of justice to those who get caught. Yeah. But they're not hunting down and pursuing these other people.
It's not equal justice.
No, it's not.
It's not equal justice.
Absolutely not. Our judicial system has gone weak. So weak.
Like these government officials should be held to such a high standard that if they're caught in any kind of criminal activity that you never see them again and they're in prison for a minimum of like 15 years.
Yep. But a weak penal system, you have the Clintons, you have the Kennedys, you have the Bushes, you have so many people out there with all this dirt on them that was proven and nothing happens. Instead, they do a book deal and they get richer.
Yep.
This is where we're at. The sisters' mission is in complete alignment with my passion for removing the guilt people feel every day unjustly placed on them. Let your freak flag fly. And the joy the sisters bring is so, so, so beautiful. Let your freak flag fly. To what level?
I know, man. If I'm walking past these people, I'm covering my kids' eyes.
Yeah.
Because it's inappropriate.
100%. If I saw this dude dressed like he is now, he's got a dress with a split going way up past his crotch. This is immoral.
Like, dude,
even
put
women
on a robe.
Don't even dress this way in public. What the fuck are you doing? You're just attention seeking is all it is. You're trying to attention seek using your sexual identity, which is rooted in complete, weirdness. But again, you do what makes you happy, as long as it's not infringing on somebody else's rights. But at the same time, I don't want it forced down my throat. You are not mainstream. You are not normal. Well, John, what is normal? I think we know what normal is at this point, but this is certainly not normal. This is insanity. Britain worships Daddy Fauci, sang a song in praise of him at DC's Sisters Lavender Mass in 2021. I like to think of Daddy Fauci looking down on us and singing this type of song to the young people in his life, they said. Okay, so this goes back to my main point. This guy is clearly unhinged, and everything with him is sexual. Daddy Fauci, I like to think of him above and looking down on us. You're making him a god. You want this person in government? Where there's smoke, there is fire, ladies and gentlemen. This person is insane. I wouldn't want this guy leading a fucking dog.
Fauci was the same person back in the 80s that was demonizing homosexuals.
Yes, and suddenly they love him.
That, to me, that would be unforgivable.
100%. He should never even been, like, Trump should have never let him be. He should have fired his ass.
I know.
So this is also on Trump.
Honestly, I wonder how many people knew about that until like this pandemic and people started really digging back up into his past. I didn't know that about Fauci. Did you?
Not until all this came up.
Not until this. I mean, really, this past few months, 4 or 5 months. Guy's a real piece of shit.
Britain on his wedding day, December 2019, with his husband Kevin, left and right with another man at Pride. They said it was the only photo from the event they could post.
Ugh.
I wonder why. What if straight people started doing this? There would be massive condemnation for it. But it's okay when gay people do it.
In all fairness, you do have like Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But it doesn't go to this level. I wouldn't take my kids out either.
Yeah.
So, but, and I certainly don't condone that. That's like, look, there's a certain level of, you can get charged public indecency.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I'm conflicted on that one. The jury's still out on it, but you cannot deny this dude has issues. He has got issues. And I'm sorry, but if you were involved in a government program involving nuclear waste, I want the best and brightest minds involved in that don't have these traumatic issues that are clearly impacting them when you call somebody Daddy Fauci. Like, dude, what's wrong with you? Grow the fuck up. Again, this is a byproduct of what was ushered in with the LGBT. This is what you get. Where does it stop? Freedom is freedom. I get that. But I don't think America can handle it. I don't think America can handle actual freedom because I think this is what happens as a byproduct. There is nothing keeping society from going off the roads or going off the road into the ditch of insanity. And we see it now. And the thing that I warn people about is that we've grown so accustomed to it because it's in everyday news now that it's been normalized. For example, pronouns. Go on TikTok and go look up leftist TikTokers. They're everywhere. And look at the insanity that is rooted in our children. I saw a video the other day of this lady or this dude. I'm not sure what it was. I couldn't tell. And he literally listed the months. And this month I'm identifying as he, she. This month I'm identifying as they, them. This month is, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You have problems. You should be locked up in an asylum and get help. But instead, let's go make TikTok videos. And people love it. Yes, queen, brave queen. Yes, slay girl. Yeah, yeah, you're so brave. No, you're fucking weird. Make bullying great again. That's what kept society right. That's what, it didn't always work. Don't get me wrong. There were things that probably shouldn't have happened. But good grief, when you don't even have
Some wedgies went too far.
Do what?
Some wedgies went too far.
Some wedgies and swirlies went too far. But this is just beyond the realm of just common sense. We are now in the area of fucking insanity. And I don't blame gay people. I'm not trying to make that point. But it's like the T tried to latch onto the LGB, and they're just like, what? And the fact, if anybody in the LGB brings that T in there and they allow it, it's like you are essentially doing a lot of injustice to your movement. The homosexuality thing, I can understand. I get that. You're in love with another man. I get it. Makes sense. Do what you want. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you for it. But then when you talk about that I'm a man that should be a woman and I want to change that and you have to respect that, fuck no. You've gone way too far. You've gone way too far. Americans say they back U.S. truck convoy with conditions. People tell Fox News they support truckers expressing freedom of speech, but not necessarily shutting down traffic. Panama City, Florida, Americans told Fox News they support truckers potentially staging a U.S. version of Canada's Freedom Convoy, but not all back the idea of bringing streets to a standstill. As long as they're being peaceful, as long as they're not getting violent with counter-protesters or the police, one man, Patrick said. We have freedom of assembly guaranteed in the Constitution, he continued. So therefore, they need to be allowed to assemble. We have freedom of speech, and so therefore, they need to be able to voice their opinions. Howard of Alabama told Fox News, sometimes you need to take an extra measures to get your point across and do things that need to be done. Candy of Fairhope, Alabama, said she supports the idea but worried about the consequences. She says, I think it's going to make the prices go up and supply get limited. I think it's going to make life harder, she told Fox News. Organizers of a planned convoy in Washington, D.C. told local media they are protesting issues such as fuel prices, vaccine requirements, and immigration. One woman told Fox she disagrees with the convoy because she supports COVID-19 mandates. Of course you do. Of course you do. You support people being forced and subjugated into medical tyranny because that's what you want. And you talk about freedom. These people are just so fucking ridiculous. You are so hypocritical. My community, the black community, has really been impacted by COVID, the Atlanta woman said. I alone have had 15 people that I know personally who have died from COVID. So I'm a proponent of making the mandates because we've got to get control. It keeps mutating, so we've got to get it in control. So because you've lost people, I should be subjected to what you think is right? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I've known
that's anecdotal at best.
Yeah, I've known a couple people who have died as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm not calling
again, there were other issues. There were other,
I'm not calling for a complete shutdown.
No, absolutely not.
Everybody's freedoms.
Oh, you lost people? Oh, then let's just take everybody's freedoms then. That's called mass punishment. That's ridiculous. Jenna from Florida disagreed. She said, I think that getting rid of all the mandates and letting everyone get back to normal and live more like we do now here in Florida is a really good thing, she said. Again, if this pandemic was so bad, these states that have been open, like Texas and Florida, it would have been 10 times worse, but it's not.
You know what? Hawaii,
California, New York.
The second highest death rate from COVID, and they're still doing mass shit.
Biden's approval rating underwater on Russia-Ukraine conflict. President Joe Biden approval rating on the Russia-Ukraine conflict is underwater. A Wednesday Political Morning Consult poll revealed just 40% of voters approved of Biden's management of the conflict, while 45% disapproved. What 40% approved?
Yeah, I got to see that.
I bet you I know who that is. There's a bunch of goddamn liberals, including 35% who they said strongly disagree. 40% of voters approved of Biden's management of the conflict, while 45% disapproved, including 35% who they strongly disapproved. Overall, the poll handed Biden negative approval rating 44 to 53%, a majority 58 to 28%. Of respondents also indicated they would find Biden responsible if the Russia-Ukrainian conflict increased American gas prices. Yes, because he canceled the Keystone Pipeline. He's given Russia all the power. Yes. I would say the Russian-Ukrainian issue isn't really his fault, but the after effects in regards to the price of oil definitely is his fault. Partially his fault. Europe is also to be blamed by conducting or facilitating this deal with Russia. They're at fault as well. Again, it's like the global leaders should all be at fault. And guess who foots the bill, ladies and gentlemen? You and me.
Yeah, I'm going to put this whole stink bomb in his lap. This is under his watch. He's the one who put out a tweet saying Putin doesn't want to go toe-to-toe with me.
Yeah.
He's the one. He did that.
Putin would wipe the floor with Biden if they got into a fight. I would pay to see that. And I would be rooting for Putin. Like, beat that ass.
He deserves it.
Beat that old man down.
He's a scumbag.
The lives that he's ruined, fuck him.
Pervert.
Moscow's ambassador to the United States, Anthony Anatov, seemed to agree with Biden, suggesting that the sanctions will hurt American consumers more than Russians. Wow. Wait, Biden told the nation on Tuesday Americans will bear a financial cost for the conflict. We already are. This is Biden trying to conflate the two. He's trying to bring it together so that way he has a throwback to blame on this. The economy wasn't my fault. It was the goddamn Ukrainians. Couldn't eat their chocolate chip ice cream, and hell, Alec killed a guy. You know, it's the thing, man. Where am I? I was supposed to call on a certain reporter whose husband works here, and corruption with Trump in the sky is tutti frutti when the puppies are in the suitcase because that's what we do here in Moscow. I'm tired.
Go get that young lady with the human puppy.
Where's that black woman that I put in job? Oh, Kamala. She's the president, right? No, she's not. Yeah, okay. I'm really proud to see her kind do good, because she voted for me. Therefore, she's black. Fucking weirdo. Biden told the nation on Tuesday, Americans will bear a financial cost for the conflict. Defending freedom will have costs for us as well. Defending freedom. Wait, defending whose freedom? This isn't about don't start with this great value brand bullshit patriotism. America, don't fall for this. This is not about freedom for Americans. This is about freedom for Ukrainians. That's their issue. And if you're a conservative and you support it, if you're Candace Owens and you support sending troops into Canada, no, these are not our fights. These are not our fights. We have so many issues to deal with here at home in America. Stop getting involved in these international conflicts that cost us thousands of American lives, trillions of Americans' taxpayer dollars. No. That's not our fight. Defending freedom will have costs, man, for all of us as well and here at home, he said. Upon announcing sanctions on Russia, we need to be honest about that. Moscow's ambassador to the United States seemed to agree with Biden, suggesting that the sanctions will hurt American consumers more than Russians. There is no doubt that the sanctions imposed against us will hurt the global financial and energy markets, Anatov said. The United States will not be left out, where ordinary citizens will feel the full consequences of rising prices, which could have been averted if maybe these pipelines weren't shut down, which brings up another article, which I think is very interesting in seeing this. After legal setback, Biden halts oil and gas leases even as oil nears $100 a barrel. The Biden administration is delaying decisions on new oil and gas drilling on federal land and other energy-related actions after a federal court blocked the way officials were calculating the real-world cost of climate change. It's the fucking hippies that are costing us a goddamn arm and a leg and then bitching why cost of products are so fucking high. The administration said in a legal filing that February 11th ruling by Louisiana federal judge will affect dozens of rules by at least 4 federal. It's almost like progressives are causing the problems, and then they try and fix the problems that they cause, but then their own progressives get in the way of actually fixing the problems. You people are so stupid. You create all these, it's climate change, global warming, we shouldn't be able to drill. But you're going to buy oil from a different country that drill. What fucking sense does that make? It's getting done either way. Science. The very definition of insanity.
No, it's all about them making money. That's all it comes down to. These people.
100%, yeah.
That's all it is.
100%.
They shut shit down. Cost us, American taxpayers.
That's the other thing that people need to understand and recognize. When Biden says these words like we and us and things like that, it's you and me, the people. Biden is perfectly. This guy is a millionaire.
Those are our pronouns.
Those are our pronouns. Yeah, exactly. These rich elites, they don't give a fuck about us. They don't care about us. They've got money for the rest of their lives. Their children are set for life. So if gas prices go up, the common American cannot afford $4 a gallon.
Well, Hunter Biden he paints a picture and sells it to China for a couple $1 million.
$500,000. Yeah, man. Talk about John Ross getting fucked over on that, man.
I know.
That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We, us. Get the fuck out of here.
We, us.
Again, even like in the COVID pandemic, all the celebrities out there, with all the celebrity worship we do in the media, because we love us some celebrity. Fox News, dude, you guys are so fucking retarded at this point. All they keep doing is pushing this Kim and Kanye fucking drama. You really, and then, fucking some Kardashian had a baby, and this is the name. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Why do you keep perpetuating this celebrity worship? It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's nuts to me. The administration said in a legal filing that February 11th, the ruling by Louisiana federal judge will affect dozens of rules, at least 4 federal agencies. Among the immediate effects is an indefinite delay in a planned oil and gas release sales on public lands in half dozen states in the West. The ruling will also delay plans to restrict the methane waste emissions from natural gas drilling on public lands and a court-ordered plan to develop energy conservation standards for manufactured housing, and the administration said. The ruling also will delay a $2.3 billion federal grant program for transit projects, officials said. Dude, I'm so over this. I am so over this. Our government is ran by children. Trained monkeys could do better.
It's ran by criminals.
Yeah.
These people are straight criminals. What they're doing. They don't care about their constituents. They don't care about taxpayers. They use buzzwords.
Oh God! And then the people they lap it up. Biden, Kristi Noem, says Biden gave Putin all the power when he canceled Keystone Pipeline. Wednesday, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem ripped President Joe Biden for canceling the Keystone Pipeline on his first day in office, while also delaying action on Russia's Nord Stream 2 pipeline. Noem told FNC's Fox and Friends that Biden sent a clear message to Putin his first day in the White House, which he argued gave Putin all the power to make Europe and the United States more unstable. That is the power that the President Biden gave them, Noem emphasized. When he canceled the Keystone Pipeline, on day one of his presidency, he sent a clear message to Putin. You go ahead, develop your energy supply, make sure that the rest of Europe and the United States is more unstable. He, from the very day he got into the White House, he gave Putin all the power. Noem said Russia was not only attacking our energy supply, but also attacking the United States through mechanisms related to cybersecurity. I wish that this White House understood that they drove up gas prices on South Dakotans by canceling the Keystone Pipeline, which came straight through our state. But we are prepared for future regardless of what President Biden does, she added. Well, there you go. We, again. Now, look, I do like Kristi Noem, but again, there is no we. You're just fine. You can afford it. The common, average, everyday American that is working a 9 to 5, living paycheck to paycheck, they cannot afford this. They're going to have to pull from other areas of their life to be able to afford these insane gas prices. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, it's going to get worse.
That and 10% inflation.
An all-time high in, 20, 30 years?
Oh, yeah. It's since, Jimmy Carter?
It's the American people that are going to foot this bill that the rich elites in Washington are creating. So Joe Biden canceling that pipeline, good job. And I think now more Americans are waking up to global economics, especially when it concerns oil, and why it's so crucial and important that you climate change people need to shut the fuck up. Because I'll put it this way, I don't give a fuck what your views are. If you're telling me I got to pay more, this is ridiculous. Oh, we should go solar and nuclear. You know how much that costs? it would cost even more. It would bankrupt America. Then you got AOC out there. We should just refit and redo all of America. Yeah, we'll bankrupt America in the process because you're so fucking retarded.
They're doing it right now.
It's
I still,
stupid.
my mind is blown that our deficit is at $30 trillion. I mean, just like $30 trillion. I mean, honestly, we should stick that bill to China for.
I tell you what, China should bear fiscal responsibility for what they did for COVID.
Oh,
they really should.
Shave about, I don't know, 15 that trillion off. That's what I would do anyways.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this stream, this episode of the All American Savage Show podcast. We were on fire today. I felt good. Damn, that felt good. I appreciate you guys subscribing and throwing your bits on Twitch. Don't forget, all that money goes to shellshockcbd.com. You can check us out there. We appreciate your love and support. Again, shellshockcbd.com. If you're on Twitch, as soon as we end the stream here, don't go away. We're going to pick another tankard winner. And, we'll have some fun with that. We'll get that shipped out to you today. And we really appreciate all the people that support the podcast. Go leave a review on iTunes. Share it. You can follow us on SoundCloud. Just look up John Burke. We're there. We're also on Rumble. And we're still waiting to get on True Social. So we will see what happens. We appreciate your love and support. I'll probably be streaming on Twitch tonight. We'll see what happens. So until then, you got anything to add, my man?
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
We will see you probably not tomorrow, but maybe Friday, depending on weather. So until then, you stay savage, America.